All right, so Jothy, you talk about grit as a secret weapon for entrepreneurs, right? So define grit for us. Talk to us about how to build that habit into our lives as entrepreneurs.
There's maybe a few synonyms for grit: gumption, tenacity, resilience. And grit doesn't just apply to entrepreneurs. Grit applies to anybody that pushes themselves in an extreme sport. And I think everyone that I've known who's has had a disability has to develop grit, which is everything we've just been talking about. It's ability to work hard. It's setting goals and achieving them and celebrating them and moving on and bigger goals. And so I think that startup people either naturally already have it when they say, I'm going to go start a business, or they develop it quickly as they learn. And like you just said, first one, you make some mistakes. You actually, I shouldn't say that. You make mistakes on all 9 in my case, but you make different
They're just
mistakes.
Different, right? Yeah.
Right. Hopefully they're not the fatal ones that you make again. But it's so grit is what enables you to keep at it. And I probably should have added persistence to that list of synonyms for grit as well, or maybe they're just all components of grit. But the ability to what was it they used to say about the Energizer Bunny? Takes a licking and keeps on ticking. Yeah. It's that, this most recent startup is the one that went through the pandemic, and that was just, honestly, that was hell, and just coming back at it every day, and and having and learning the meaning of cold sweats at night, because you're worrying about you're keeping your team and that you're the source of their support for their family. So lots of grit was being developed there.
Well, and I can again emphasize, because my largest company that I built before we sold it post pandemic was in the travel space. So, and one day, you're chugging along and we're the business intelligence side, the data side, but one day things are fine, and the next day everything's turned off, like literally from 100 to 0, like in the matter of a day, right? Because travel was cut off like overnight, and so like we made it through, we figured it out. In fact, we actually grew the most we ever did because we doubled down on marketing and client acquisition with some really, really great offers and things that we did, because we saw the opportunity to take over the market share while everybody was pulling back. Everybody was like turtle in the shell and everything. We went full bore, and that's ultimately I think what got the company bought. But I remember those first few weeks to a month of just like, what are we going to do? Because we had all these clients that overnight were like, well, we went from 100 to 0. We're not even using the products as much. What can you do? Or we may have to cancel. Or so it was a wild time, and it was literally find a way, make a way, find a way, make a way, find a way, make a way, figure it out. And and just each day had a set of challenges to get through, and that's probably one of the best experiences of my life from a business standpoint, getting through that. And I bet you can agree with yours going through that. I think coming out of it, there's nothing that surprises me or really gets me worked up anymore in a business when it happens at this point,
My investors said that they decided that I had this really big hat because I kept finding another rabbit in the hat. And and the timing was absolutely, it's just it's similar to yours. I was just starting to raise my Series A, and I probably started in January, and then it was March 11th when we got shut down, and had to go home. Nobody's in the office, and every investor said, "Nope, I'm protecting my existing portfolio. No new investments, probably not for at least a year." And
ironically, just quick ADD moment on that. So March 11th. So I was actually in Lake Tahoe skiing when this happened. And I actually tore my MCL on Saturday on my finishing run. And that night, it was like a multiple whammy. That night, they got like 6 feet of snow dump. And the next morning, all the ski resorts were closed. And I was there with a bum knee. And I had like 6 feet of snow on top of the rental car that I was trying to clean off. And I had to make it back to the airport. And then I had to change flights and everything else to try to get home. It was crazy. So, skiing is involved in that and stuff. But had a great time at Palisades in Tahoe before that all went down. So,
wow,
sorry.
That's amazing. No, we were here, and we were just in Boston, and we've never gone back to that office. I mean, it was just we became 100% remote. But I mean, we got 2 rounds of PPP money. I was getting angel investors who said, "Yeah, we think this is a good opportunity." My brother and I loaned the company. I mean, we just did everything to just barely keep it going. And then we came out the other end, and it's going well again. We probably lost. We probably would have been way up here on the curve, 2 years earlier, but we're still at it.
But still, even making it through was that there are so many businesses for no fault of their own that just, they got torpedoed and couldn't make it through there. So, to make it for anybody was a challenge, and kudos to those that did.